So I finally finished Star Wars Outlaws, and judging from the reception of my last couple of videos, I'm apparently now a very rich shill that has been to Disneyland multiple times, has been paid in buckets of money from Ubisoft, and because I am rocking in at under 3,000 subscribers, that makes perfect sense for them to flood me with money, because that sounds incredibly logical. But not only that, I not only said what I liked about Star Wars Outlaws, but also what I disliked about it too. In this video I'll go more in depth into that, as I have now finished the story. But the thing is, I may have finished the story, but I still want to keep playing. It's not perfect. It is not a flawless game. Do I think it's worth the full price? No. I'd say not. I'd say this is more a game that if it was released at the £40 to £45 mark, which all games should be released at, then I'd say that's more in the ballpark. But it's not. I will be honest, it's not a game that I feel like, oh yeah, I'm glad I spent 70 quid on it or whatnot. Now, I got the ultimate big edition of it, but I didn't pay full price for it. And no, I did not receive it for free. I did not get it from Ubisoft. I have nothing to do with Ubisoft. I am not a shill for Ubisoft. If you look back through my videos, I tried Skull and Bones and I hated it. Didn't like it. I'm not going to pick up Assassin's Creed, whatever it's called, the new one. I'm not interested in the slightest. There will be no videos from me about the new Assassin's Creed. Either way, I'm not going to ride the hate train. I'm not going to make any videos on the positive light, because I'm having nothing to do with it. I don't want to play it. Star Wars Outlaws appeals to me because I am a Star Wars fan, pre-Disney, mainly, of course. I do like some of The Mandalorian and whatnot, and I did like The Force Awakens, and then Last Jedi just chopped the head off of it, just killed all hype. But that aside, Star Wars Outlaws is a good game when it's good, but it does have issues. And to satiate those people that have a very short attention span, I'll tell you what I dislike about Star Wars Outlaws first. Firstly, frame rates. They do drop quite often, quite a lot, especially if you're moving through towns. I did notice if anything was getting a bit too crazy, they do drop here and there. That's a thing that happens in a lot of games. It shouldn't happen though, and I do hate it when it doesn't work like that. There are bugs within the game. There are some bugs when you're trying to maneuver K around things or do things, and they do happen. I've not had anything absolutely hilariously dramatic happen like you do see online, but some people have had issues with it, and it's there. Is it the first game to have bugs? No, but they are there. And also graphical glitches as well, where you have like the lighting goes a bit bizarre, a bit weird, and that kind of thing. I have fallen through the map once. That was when I completed a requirement for one of, basically you have these challenges essentially to do, and once you do them you unlock new abilities and new things Kay can do or Nix can do or you can do on your speeder. And as I unlocked that, I was in the middle of a mission and I pulled up the map, and then when I put the map back down again, I fell through the ground and I had to chuck a thermal detonator at my feet to kill myself because I couldn't even fast travel from it. That was annoying, and it also made me insta-fail the contract I was doing, because it was one of those high-risk ones where if you fail it, if you die, that's it. You can't just respawn and go back for it. It fails. So that did suck donkey dick. So, you know, I'm in no way saying I had an absolutely, you know, spiffing time with Star Wars Outlaws. That, oh no, it does no wrong. No, that would be a load of bollocks, and I don't want to feed you a load of bollocks. No, I did have 2 crashes for the game, unfortunately. Crashed back down to the PlayStation home screen twice, set in separate times, but I've put 30 odd hours into the game, still have not done everything. There is loads to do in this game, but 2 crashes in 30 hours is not the end of the world, but once again, should not happen. Also, the forced stealth that a lot of people do tend to have a problem with, I don't mind in some places, but there are, within the main missions, the forced stealth did start to do my nut in, especially towards the end of the game. Like the second to last mission is forced stealth throughout most of it, and because the AI for the stealth it's not Metal Gear Solid 5. This is not Metal Gear level of stealth, AI, intuition, all that kind of stuff. So unfortunately, it does get a bit annoying and it is a massive pain in the dick. But apart from that, it's stealth in some sections doesn't bother me because I am a stealth fan. And you cannot freely shoot from the speeder, which I hate, because when enemies are following you or obviously shooting at you, you've got to wait for your meter to go up to click in the thumbsticks to then be able to highlight the enemies to shoot them down, rinse and repeat. Apparently it was a design choice to have Kay not be able to freely shoot from her speeder. I don't think that makes sense, because you build up a meter and shoot people from your speeder anyway. So I call a bit of, I don't know, I think they may have cut a corner there, but doesn't make the entire game bad. But that's just, and that, to be honest, is pretty much all of my cons, in all fairness. Now, the pros, I think K-Vess and Nyx are great. They're a great team. Their relationship you feel for. You see flashbacks and how they met and all that kind of stuff in K-Vess's personal life. The story follows K-Vess as she's living on Cantonica in the city of Canto Bight, and she living in the underworld, essentially, living out of a room above a bar, and she feels as though she was abandoned by her mother, and she wants to score big to get off Canto Bight and just make her way in the galaxy. And along the way, she gets embroiled up into a heist, and she has to go and recruit a crew and take part in this heist. That's essentially the story within the game. Now, K-Vess is not perfect. She's not a perfect Mary Sue. She gets by the skin of her teeth in a lot of instances, and she has no clue what she's doing. She messes up multiple times, and people can see through her sort of tough facade that she's putting on, and they call her out on it. So I really did like that. Now, also the relationship between Kay and ND5 is really good, and that grows as well. I'm not going to spoil where it goes and what it does, but they start off where he's basically there to just keep her in line and kill her if she doesn't do as she's told. But a bond forms between them and just becomes much... So by the end of the game, I actually genuinely cared about what was happening between them. So that was really good. And the story is good. It's not great. It's nothing amazing. It's nothing to write home about. But it is a good story. And there are some great special guest appearances from Star Wars characters, like Boba Fett, who just appears just there, and of course Jabba the Hutt and Bib Fortuna and others I'm not going to spoil, but they are there, which is really cool. Now, the environment has the look and feel of the Star Wars movies, the original Star Wars movies. It is really, really cool, and especially like on Tatooine with the dynamic weather and the day and night cycles, it all just looks really, really cool and makes me feel as though I am there. There is loads to explore. They're on the 4 planets in their respective outer space areas as well. Like outside of Toshara, there's also a space station that you can dock in and explore, and there are vendors there, and you can also gain quests from it and all that kind of stuff, so that's pretty cool. There's loads of contracts to take on, which I believe are never ending. They're always respawning, which is pretty cool, and they're all varied in objective, and some are harder than others. And like I said earlier on in where I fell through the floor, there are some missions that if you die, that's it, it's gone. You failed that contract. You just have to go and get more, and you can just keep going doing that all the time. Besides that, there's plenty of other side stuff like Sabak, which is pretty fun, very simple but quite fun, which does also have its own quest line, kind of like Gwent from The Witcher 3. There are 2 arcade games at the moment. I don't know if they're going to be putting more in, and they're pretty cool. You can get high scores in them if you so choose. You can bet on the races from Canto Bight on the horsey squirrel things, whatever the hell they are, and you can find treasure and follow up on clues that can be found by data pads, talking to NPCs, eavesdropping on conversations, that kind of thing. There's also many different encounters that Kay has with just people around. You can talk to them, learn things, take part in conversations. There are choices within conversations for Kay to have, depending on certain levels within cartels that she has, depends on certain options you have. You can unlock new dialogue options, which is pretty cool, and it's very immersive in that way. There's also multiple different hacking mini games for the doors, terminals and chests and that kind of thing, which can be turned off if you don't want to. I also did turn down the enemy health in the game too, because the enemy do feel a bit spongy. I forgot to put that actually in the cons. The enemy seem to be a bit spongy, and I think that's maybe something they can patch out later. I don't know. I mean, they may or may not. I don't know how far they're going to go with the support for this game. There are plenty of items to pick up and steal from places all over the place, and obviously with the doors being hacked, you can go and find a multitude of different things to just steal, essentially. And of course there's loads of cartel reputation opportunities. It's pretty cool, and you know, when you complete the missions, you get offered a choice to either honor the deal with whoever it was you're doing the deal with for the Hutts, say for example, or you can betray the Hutts and give it to Crimson Dawn and then gain reputation or more credits through them. So that's always pretty cool, and if you have a really low or poor standing with any cartel and you're in their territory, they'll send hit squads after you quite regularly, so that's always fun. Besides the contracts and whatnot, there's also some pretty good side quests, including the one that they showed before the game came out, where you can go down into a Sarlacc pit to get the tooth. That was pretty cool. There are many others as well, which I'm not going to spoil, but they are pretty cool with their own little stories. Now, the weapon, speeder, and trailblazer customization, crafting, and upgrades are all really cool as well, giving you something to work towards, and you genuinely do feel stronger the more you upgrade the stuff, which is obviously the whole point of it, and that's good, especially with the Trailblazer. The space combat with the Trailblazer is also really cool. It's more on the simplistic side, it's nothing too in-depth or super extreme with aerial combat, but for what it is, and as soon as you start upgrading more, it's really, really cool and can be quite exciting at times. Now, the normal combat is good. It's not the best. It's definitely not the best third-person shooting I've ever done, but it's good enough for the type of game Outlaws is. I don't think Outlaws was going for the full-on guns blazing shooty. I think it's a little bit of an all-rounder kind of game, which is fine. It's, you know, it doesn't have to be what we want it to be. It is what it is. Take it as it is or not. That's completely up to you. There's a lot to enjoy with Star Wars Outlaws, in all honesty. Is it overpriced? Absolutely. All games priced at 70 or above are definitely overpriced. But if you like Star Wars and you don't mind the more stealthy approach to games, then Outlaws may be for you. I am not encouraging anybody to buy this at full price. If you can wait for a sale, it's worth checking out. Just like I said, if you're a Star Wars fan, it is a very good game when it's good. But there are times that can be frustrating. There are the bugs and all that kind of stuff, like I said. But there is a lot in this game, and I have seen things put out where people are saying it's a lazy game, all this kind of stuff. There is loads in Star Wars Outlaws. Absolutely loads. And it doesn't just pay to watch streamers or YouTubers, and which I know is ironic because I am a YouTuber, technically. But I'm just telling you my honest opinion. I'm not riding no hate train. I am not glorifying the game and saying, no, flawless, 100%, buy it, 70 quid, no looking back. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying it has its flaws, but I like it. I apologise if that upsets you, but that's life, I'm afraid. But let me know in the comments down below. I'm sure a lot of people have already let me know before getting to this point in the video and told me that I'm wrong, I'm a shill, and how much are they paying me, but I'll be honest, I don't care. So I'll keep playing it and I'll keep enjoying it, and that's the most important thing I want you to take away. I've beat the main story, and once you do that, then nothing can be missed throughout the main story. You can then go off and complete everything else at your leisure, and I want to do it. I want to keep exploring. And also, I can't believe I completely forgot to say it as well, there are also random events that happen which do repeat, just like in The Witcher and Red Dead 2. They do repeat, but they happen, like people being attacked by bandits or whatever, or you need to help somebody out or something. There's plenty of those as well. There is loads to stick your teeth into in Star Wars Outlaws. It's not a terrible game. It's a very good game that's had a rocky start. And I hope Ubisoft make it better, or more specifically, Massive Entertainment make it better. But we shall see. We do have 2 DLCs coming out, so hopefully it just keeps growing, and I hope they add extra planets to it, because I think that would be really, really cool. But like I said, let me know down below what you think, and as always, thank you very much for watching.
So this is what we're breaking into?
Yeah. Just don't do anything suspicious. You know what? I'm gonna disable the ship's weapons, just in case.